Today's victim, we have a pentastar ticker. Listen to it. Tick, 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 tick. This is more of a pentastar knocker. But I'm going to show you what's wrong with it today, and I'm going to show you the flat cam lobe that it probably has. Alright, so first things first. Remove the engine cover on the top, just a snap-on cover. Next, remove your air breather from over here to your throttle body. After that, we can start to disconnect all of the wiring and the vacuum lines that are on the top and on the side. Then I'm going to move my rad hose here. I'm going to pull it back up over the top, just so I can expose things like that. I've got one 10 mil right down here. I've got another 10 mil tucked over here. Alright, so phone rang. I got sidetracked. You gotta play catch up now. Basically, intake is off. It's gone. Took off everything there for the intake. Kicked it out of the way. With the intake gone out of the way, I removed my my 3 coils. I took off my sensor at the back for my my camshafts. This sensor here, it's a T30 in the top. Remove it from the valve cover. Pull your valve covers off. Okay, a bunch of 8 mils around the valve cover. Yeah, sometimes it's stubborn. It happens. I mean, do your best to get it off and not break it. Now, once your valve cover is off, you can go through your cam and try and figure out what's what. Now, I'm going to quickly just go over this. We're looking at 2 cam lobes there. Looking at 2 cam lobes there. These cam lobes are down at the bottom. Can't see them. Looking at 2 cam lobes here. 1, 2. These 2 cam lobes are right here at the front. 1, 2. And then these guys are just down here at the bottom. They're just coming off. So, when you take a look at your cam lobes, what I see is this cam lobe here, in comparison with that cam lobe, has the grinding on the side of it. So it started to take out the side of the cam lobe. Now, some people will want to replace the cam because of this. In my opinion, I don't have to replace the cam. It did damage the sides of the cam, but it didn't damage the cam lobe to the point where it's flat and you need to replace the cam. Now, if I come down here to the rocker underneath it, see that movement? That should not be moving like that. And that's your tick, 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 tick on this side of the engine anyway. I've got another one of these on that side of the engine. But I'm working on pulling that valve cover, and then I'll show you what's going on over there too. Now, for the rear valve cover, when you're getting ready to pull it off, you have this PVC vent right over here. It has to come off, or you're going to screw it up, and you're going to fight to get the valve cover off. It's got, I believe they're T27s or T25s. I forget. They're not T20s. Do not use T20s. You're going to have a bad time. There's 1 bolt here, and I believe this style has 1 on the bottom. There's 2 different styles. So there's a style with a bolt here, bolt on the bottom, or there's a style with a bolt here and a bolt right here and the one on the bottom. So a couple different styles, does the same thing. It's only the one valve cover that's got the vent on it. And yeah, you only have to do that for the one side of the engine, but don't forget to do it or you're going to screw it up. With the 2 bolts taken off, which were T25s, this guy will just come loose and come out of the way. The reason he's got to come out of the way is because he's got such a lip on him like that, and if you don't, you'll catch him on the edge of the camshaft right inside there. So that's why it's very important for this piece to come out. Alright, so rear valve cover is off now as well. I'll go over the rear side and I'll show you what's there. I haven't even really looked at it yet, but we'll get there. Now, tech tip, word of the wise. These guys right here. There's one on the back of all 4 of the camshafts. There's 2 more over there. Those are your magnetic pickups for your camshaft sensors. Do not touch them with screwdrivers. Do not touch them with magnets. Do not do any of that stuff. If you're going for this rocker right here by this guy, use nothing but your fingers. Don't get down there with the magnet and try and pick that one out because you're too close to this sensor and you're going to screw it up. And then when you screw that sensor up, you got to replace the camshaft because it's part of the camshaft. You cannot get it separately. So word of the wise, don't do that or you're going to be costing yourself some camshafts and some weird codes. Now, moving into the back guy here. I haven't really dug into this yet, so we're going to just look at the cam lobes for some damage. That one looks alright. That guy looks good. That guy not so good. This one here is a little bit screwed up. Oh, and this guy here. He's a bit screwed up there too. So with that being said, that rocker, see how she moves? She shouldn't be like that. Now this guy down here, this rocker, oh yeah, she's moving, she's wiggling. I'll go through and just do the wiggle test for the rest of them, but I think we're looking like we've got 2 of them there. Yeah, so we got 2 on the back side, 1 on the front side. The one on the front side is the very most forward one, which I've had a lot of guys say, how do you do it? Now, I will show you exactly how I do that one and how hard it's not to do. Alright, so this is how I do the front camshaft rocker. So, all my bearings are loose, all my camshaft bearings are loose, the caps are loose. So, come down here to the rocker, it's this guy here, and I'm trying to pop him off. Now, just take my screwdriver, and I just give him a pop. He'll pop right out, just like that. Now he fell right down in here, so now I just gotta get him out. I'll get another one and I'll show you popping it into place. It's not that hard. Okay, so new rocker. Wheel spins, nice and easy, no problem. Old rocker. You can see the marks from where the cam was hitting it, and this guy is stuck. So if you pay attention, the wheel does roll, but I only get that much movement out of it, and it binds up on either side because the wheel is off-centered. It's hanging out down below here. So this rocker is seized and no good. This rocker is new and going to go on its home. Okay, so rocker being reinstalled. I like to install the rear part of this rocker onto the valve. So this guy down here, the rear part of the rocker goes onto that valve, and then I'll swing it around to the front and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Just let me get this guy put in here and I'll show you where it's at. Now this is the way that I do my rockers. I get them all stuck inside. It's on the back here and the front of it is right there. It's not quite on the ball yet, but we're gonna get there. Now, this is where I take my fancy screwdriver and I go back here to the back of where the rocker arm is, and I'm gonna push it onto that ball. And you're gonna see it pop into place. Ready? Come on. Maybe I'm lying to you. Okay, attempt number 2. Let's see if we can get this guy on there now. Come on. Nope. Failed at attempt number 2. Let's not stop recording and let's go to attempt number 3. Still didn't do it. Oh, it's gonna fight me. If it wants to fight, we move up to a bigger bar. Okay. I've got Alright, final attempt. I moved up to a pry bar, little mini pry bar, and here we go. Now we should just still fail at getting it to go on. There it is. And it's on. Just like that. Now I'm going to put the front valve cover back on, and after I retorque the camshaft again, and we're going to call the front side done, and then we'll move on to the rear side. Alright, so now we're going to move to the back side. Now with regards to this damaged camshaft, with how damaged this one is, this one should be replaced. However, I am not going to replace it because I only need, hell, I don't know, I just need another 6 months of life out of this vehicle, maybe. So it was running like this. It'll keep running with another new rocker for a little bit longer. This damage on this camshaft on the back there, I'm not really worried about that damage, or just like the damage on the front camshaft that I already did. That damage to me is what I consider minor, no problems. Alright, so on to the damaged rocker. Now I've loosened all the bearing caps, again, like I've said before, just loosen them all so they're all up here loose. Now down here is the rocker. I'm gonna, because it's in the middle, I should be able to just pop this guy off of here, like so. Now he's out. And he's the same way, he's all jammed. Not really doing much of nothing. So, I'm going to put him down and install the new one. I'll show you how easy it should be. Should go in like this. Slide it on the back there. Move it over. Pop it into place. There you go. Rocker's installed. Just like that. So now I'm going to retorque the bearing caps. I'm going to go over here and change this one. This one should be even easier, although it's by the magnetic pickup. So remember, no screwdrivers, no magnets. Do not touch it. Alright, and now I'm down to the dangerous one. No tools, no magnets, just hands. Go in here, knock it off. Now it fell down into the bottom here. Just go down here, fish it out. Just like that. Out she comes. So now we put this one in. Now these ones are a bit tricky, mostly because of this piece on the camshaft, but it's not horrible. I'll see what I can do and I'll check back. Alright, that was a two-handed operation, but we got her done. So now I just gotta retorque it and reinstall the valve cover and off we go. Alright, so start your reassembly process, put your valve covers back on, start putting your coils back in. At this time, if you haven't done it, if you haven't done it in a while, if you don't know, it's a good time to change your spark plugs since you're right here. Might as well do them. I did change these spark plugs, so new plugs, coils, it's ready to go. I'm basically just gonna hook up the wiring and stuff for the coils, bolt them down, put the intake back on, and we'll refire it to hear how quiet it is now. So now after all that, we're gonna see how she sounds. I had a bunch of shit in the intake, that's why I kind of started up rough, but listen to the way she runs. Oh yeah, she's kind of smoking. I definitely had a bunch of shit in the intake. But do you hear how quiet it is now? It's definitely not ticka 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 ticka. Not doing that no more. So let's call this a win. Let's park it outside and let it burn off this smoke, because it's kind of obnoxious.